So there's lots of videos about what lens is the best lens. I'm definitely guilty of that, but there's hardly any videos about what focal lengths are the best. Now, regardless of whether a lens zooms or not, there's always gonna be set focal lengths for a particular lens. Is there really more to it than just, there's not enough space in my room? Today we're going to cover wide focal lengths, standard focal lengths, and portrait medium telephoto focal lengths. Now before we begin, there's slightly varying definitions about what is a wide focal length, what is a standard focal length, and what is a portrait / medium telephoto focal length. Now these are all in full frame equivalent, so if you want to calculate that for your camera, you're probably going to do a little bit of math. So with that out of the way, let's go. So the first one is the wide angle. If you haven't noticed, my set has changed slightly, but nothing really to do with my set, but everything to do with my focal length. Wide angles fit in tight spaces. They distort your face. My forehead is particularly large. You can see that my nose is a little bit bigger than usual, and overall the background is all up in there. It also has this weird effect where it just sort of speeds up movement. So if you see my hands moving, it just looks like I'm super energetic. Basically, shorter focal lengths make movement look faster in frame. Now an example of somebody that uses the wide focal length really well, I think, is Peter McKinnon. So he's this coffee lover and he's got this hyperactivity about him. So he likes to use this wide angle to accentuate his movements and overall get his personality across. I'll have some links to his channel below. So bottom line, if you want an animated, energetic, in your face type feel to your video and you don't mind the distortions on your face, that's making your nose bigger, your forehead bigger, and sort of compressing your face to make it look thinner, use a wide focal length. Oh, back. Moving on to standard focal length, this is filmed at 50 millimeters. 50 millimeters gives the angle of view that's closest to what the human eye sees. And all that means is that your brain and your eyes have less to interpret when they see an image. So when you look at my face and you look at the background, it's gonna look just right. It's not that there's too much background or too little, and my face isn't gonna be super wide or super thin. The movement in the frame is not going to look particularly fast or particularly slow. It is going to provide a little bit more of a serious feel to your video. Also, it provides you a little bit more breathing room between you and your audience, even though it still has a casual feel to it. So bottom line with this focal length is if you want a flattening perspective of your face and be able to situate yourself in the background as well, this is the one for you. Moving on to the last focal length we'll cover today. This is a medium telephoto or a portrait lens. This is 85 millimeters. So essentially what that means is that there's no distortion in your face whatsoever. Your forehead isn't gonna look funny, your nose isn't gonna look funny. Now another thing to remember is that when you're shooting in a wider angle, it looks like there's a lot of distance between the background and yourself. Now having a look at this picture, it looks like the background and I are really close together. Now this can create a more serious and also calm look to your videos. It also gives you and your audience some space between each other and it doesn't feel like you're all up in their face all the time. Now a good example of somebody that uses a portrait lens for the videos is Tony and Chelsea Northrup. You can see how they use it for their very calm and laid back type of videos. So the bottom line with these focal lengths is that if you want something that flatters your face, doesn't show as much of the background, can have a professional look or a calm feel to your videos, this is the one for you. All right, so wrapping this up, we all know that shorter focal lengths fit into tighter spaces, but there's just so much more to focal length than that. If you wanted something to show your hyperactivity, maybe it's an action video, or maybe you just have a very engaging, hyperactive personality, you may want to get that across using a wider focal length with lots of speed in the frame. Now, if you wanted something more laid back, something maybe more formal or more calm, and also accentuate your face, make it look more flattering, use a longer focal length. And if you wanted something in between, use a standard focal length around the 50 millimeter range. Comment below on your favorite focal length and why. This is Kim and I'll catch you in the next one. Now if you ever watch any sports, particularly basketball, you'll notice that from the normal broadcast view, the players kind of look fast, but it looks like you could almost keep up with them. But all of a sudden when they switch to a camera that's on court with a shorter focal length, players look really fast and it really looks like you can't keep up with them anymore.